I'm 23 years old. At the age of 16, I was paralyzed due to transverse myelitis, which is inflammation in the spinal cord. And that obviously was a different, like a completely new thing for me, because I went from being completely independent and able-bodied and walking and being active to now being completely paralyzed and having to learn how to move around in a wheelchair. That was a big challenge for me. Basically, I was angry for a long time. At least for 3 years, I was very depressed as well. When I went to the hospital, and I thought, well, I'm in the hospital, they're gonna cure me and I'm gonna walk out of the hospital. And then when I went to inpatient rehab and they brought in a wheelchair at the room, that's when it hit, like, I'm gonna have to be on a wheelchair now. And that was very tough to process. I was very weak back then. I couldn't really move around too much because I would get really tired. And I was, of course, overweight because I wasn't active much at home. And my balance was really bad. I remember, like, if I transferred to a table, I wouldn't be able to stand up right because I really had bad balance. So that was my main goal coming here, was improving my balance, improving my upper body, like being able to get in and out the car without having help. The first time I used it, it was in the circuit, and I thought it was just only one way to use it, just up and down, and I thought it was the only thing that I could use. But then they showed me different ways of using it. I actually got on the floor and used it, and that worked out my abs. And then I used it like going back, and that worked out my back. Those different ways that I could use it, and that was like one of my favorite things to do, because every time I would get back on the rope, I would do it a different way. It made me realize that I could do anything. At that time I wasn't working, so I thought, well, I'm probably not going to be able to get a job because there's things that people are going to think that I can't do. And even myself, I thought I couldn't do most things. But when I got my upper body strength and I started doing things like taking the bus or just going around, that kind of made me realize, you know what, I can get a job. And I grew so much, not just physically, but emotionally as well. I got a lot of confidence of actually stepping out into the world and saying, you know what, I can get a job. And having that confidence to go in an interview, that was very tough. But I did it. If you are newly injured and now you have to rely on your upper body to move around, and because you can't walk anymore and you have to transfer and you can't use your legs, the most important thing is you have to keep your shoulders and your arms and your back strong. And the endless rope would be a great way to do that, because it literally provides all of those. It keeps your shoulders strong, your back, and your arms all in one.